Hey guys, I know I've been gone for quite some time. Ignore my face, how my nose is red, and the rest of my face is so white right now. Texas is going through a cold front. Um, it's like 32 degrees outside. Wind chill is like 26 degrees, and I'm out there feeding Rebel. And I've gotten just like a lot of questions and messages about, "Oh man, where have you guys gone? Your last video said, yeah, we're back." And let me tell you, I really did intend to be back. As you guys know, I'll link the video below where I was kind of telling you guys that I was struggling a lot in different aspects of my life, and that was like my second to last video that I'll link down below. Um, but this last month, a lot of things have happened, and I feel like, again, it was really easy. It could be really easy to run away and not explain what's going on, but I feel like when God gives you the opportunity and the resources to reach out to people, you should take advantage of it. And also, I'm sorry, I'm in our garage, waiting for Rebel to finish up eating. It's windy outside, so it's just freezing out there. I don't want to be in the wind. But yeah. So, anyways, a month has gone by since you guys saw me and Nick and Kenzie go to Galveston. It was a great trip. I think that it really gave us the energy for what we were gonna kind of come home to, so to speak. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the month of October really has, I'm not gonna say tested our faith, because speaking for myself, I don't think that you could test my faith. I'm always gonna be faithful. Even sometimes when it's hard to accept God's plan, I never question his plan, if that makes sense. Sometimes it's just a tough pill to swallow. But so pretty much what happened was we got home, and as you guys know, I had my leg cut open and a semi-operation to remove a mass, and that happened in late September. Well, it's just safe to say that they removed the stitches, and the nurse ripped off a really a scab, and if you guys know wounds, scabbing is good for healing and everything, but it's not good for if you have stitches, because obviously for them to take stitches out, the scab has to come off. So anyways, TMI, but she ripped the scab off. It was gross. And then the main doctor came in and said, yeah, I'm not liking how this is looking. Let's put you on a topical steroid for it. So I said, okay, cool. How long do you think this healing process is going to take? And she said, I'll be honest with you, it could take take 2+ months to heal. And again, I'm not going to be vain. A lot of people are telling me, wow, that scar looks horrible. They've botched you and stuff. And you guys, I don't care. I mean, the old me maybe would have cared, but the fact that they removed something that, precancerous or could have been precancerous, I'm just happy it's gone. So I'll take the scarring any day of my life. But so anyways, it's still Band-Aid. I do Vaseline every day. It looks a lot better though. So this part of the valley, I'm making it out. I don't think it's going to even take till January to heal, to be honest. I think by December 25th, Christmas, it'll be good. So that was just the one thing, is just, it sucks when a part of your body's not healing. It's hard to have a bandage on your leg with a toddler who keeps ripping it open. But that's so minor of what this valley that we're going through consists of. The next thing that happened about 3.5 weeks ago, me and Nick and my mom and Kenzie were all in our truck. For those of you that don't know, we have a Dodge Ram. Me and Nick just bought it last February. One of our first huge purchase as a married couple, where it's, $17,000 worth of finance. We're really proud of it. We love that truck. And so we're driving on the back road. It was our first cold day that Texas has experienced since January and February and March. And it was raining a lot, so we took a back road. We were going to Walmart just for bread, eggs, whatever. And we come across this puddle, and we just go, and we're halfway through the puddle, and the truck's check engine light started flashing, and the truck just died. Everything shut off. So of course, I'm kind of borderline freaking out. I'm like, what the heck, Nick? What's going on? And he rolls down the window and he goes, oh my God, so much oil is leaking out of this truck. And oh my gosh. So he gets out into the water. It's freezing. It's like 40 something degrees. So it's not freezing, but it's pretty cold because it was our first real coldness since, like I said, like March. And so he jumps out of the truck. He gets down on his knees and his arms and knees. So he's soaked in water because this puddle's huge. This puddle is probably 2.5 feet deep. And so he's on his hands and knees, like under his truck. He goes, oh my God, oil's pouring out. And I said, okay, well, we need to move this truck. We still happen to break down a flood zone. So me and Nick and my mom, we all get out. We start pushing this truck, and this truck is kind of lifted. It's got big tires on it. And where we had to push it to get out of the flood zone is kind of an incline. Mind you, me and my mom have house shoes on. In fact, I'm wearing them right now. These Uggs. We're pushing it out, and me and mom are slipping. Mom loses a shoe. It drifts away. Nick goes, jumps after it. Well, he falls into a huge, what do you call it? Like a ditch on the side of the road, and barbed wire backs right up to it. He almost cuts his neck off getting the shoe, but he got it. So we push it up to where it's not in the flooded zone necessarily. And then all we have, because this was Nick's work day, so all of his buddies were at work, and by the time they got there, it'd be dark because our day started to shorten up. So we said, okay, let's get the baby out of the car. I put her in my jacket, and we started walking back to the house. We were like 2.5 miles away from the house, up inclines on a dirt road. Cold, like I said. So we finally get back home. It's pouring rain by the time we get home. We have to go over to Nick's, job. We get chains. Luckily, someone had chains. Then we pull it from the back, mind you. From the back of the truck, we have to pull it with my mom's Expedition. Horrible. I had to brake for both of our cars at some point, so did she. It was a mess. So anyways, with that being said and done, some of Nick's good friends come over, and they're looking under the truck with Nick, and they say, yeah, I think your engine's shot. There's like that milkshake in that reservoir, that milkshakey stuff, and like a blown head gasket and stuff. And for any of you guys that know about cars and trucks, that's a lot of money. So I told Nick, I said, hey, and our friend who helped us said, hey, I can tow it for you guys. I have a trailer. I'll load it up. We'll take it over to Dodge. And I said, yeah, I want Dodge to fix our truck. I want the work warranted. I'd feel better if the actual dealer dealt with it. So he takes it over to Dodge, and they do a diagnostic, and they said, yeah, when was the last time we got an oil change? Because it's showing that there was little to no oil in it, or that it wasn't changed at all. We had just got this oil changed a month and a half prior to this truck breaking down at this oil place down here in town. And Dodge said, no, they must have not changed it for your engine to have blown up. It blew up from the inside out. So that happened. And so we wait for a couple days for them to get us, a price per now. And Nick calls me and he goes, yeah. So to fix our truck, the engine has to be replaced. Everything underneath the hood has to be replaced. All the liquids, all the manifold, everything. And he goes, it's going to be about a little shy of $10,000. And you guys know from our past vlogs, we have a huge savings account. We've been picturing moving out. We've been doing all the right steps. We've been paying off credit cards. We've been so driven to just get things paid off and to be smart with our money. And so when this happened, I'm not going to lie to you, this was like a blow to the knees. I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, I'm a faithful person. But me and Nick were just talking about this. So the way that I deal with things is different from Nick, obviously, because we're two different people. And the way that I deal with it is, I'm not going to lie, for 2 to 5 minutes, maybe 2 to 7 minutes, I sat in the kitchen with my mom, and my Nana was over visiting, and Kenzie was running around. I just started crying, like bawling my eyes out, because I was like, God, I don't know where I'm getting this money. This is horrible. Our savings account, I don't want to drain it entirely, and we don't even have exactly the $10,000 in our savings. So even our savings altogether, if we did drain it out, wouldn't have enough. So I was freaking out, sobbing. I was praying to God, just saying, why, God, this is horrible, this is horrible. And then, of course, my mom was there, and she said, hey, calm down. We're going to figure this out. God would not bring you through it if he couldn't get you through it. And so that's when I got my big girl panties on. I said, okay, now that I've sobbed my eyes out for like 7 minutes, let's clear the air, let's do this. Got out my piece of paper, decided how we were going to pay it off using some savings, and then charging a credit card. So I called Nick back and I said, yeah, okay them to do it. Let me take the truck off insurance because that'll save us some money. And so Dodge also said, yeah, this reputable company that did this to your truck, we're going to write a thing up for you. And you guys should go after them in small claims because this truck was not negligence due to you guys. It was due to them. So that's what we're dealing. We're just really praying hard that this company settles with us. All we're asking for is to take up the cost of our engine just being fixed, just because this is a new truck to us. We've maintained this thing perfectly. The Carfax that's on it, the guy that had the truck before us, like every 3 months had it maintained. And we've done the same thing since we got it in February. So just really praying hard about that. So if you guys could join us in prayer for that our prayer is answered, that the company takes responsibility and they just pay what needs to be paid. So that was the start of our valley. And then, as you guys know, our horse Rebel, I mentioned it probably in our third vlog, if I can remember. He was looking really skinny, and I told you guys I was putting him on grain. We took him to the vet, in May. And they said, yeah, you know what? I think it's just worms. Let's give him a power pack, which if you guys aren't familiar with equine world, the power pack is the most powerful dewormer you can give a horse. And it usually lasts a horse anywhere from a year to a year and a half. And it's expensive. It's like $90 to $100. And so me and Nick budgeted and we said, yeah, let's do it for Rebel. Let's get it done. Give him the wormer. It's all uphill from here. And we have more than enough time to get him fat before winter happens. So this last month, he's been dropping weight horrible, guys. Like, he is skinny, so skinny. And so I said, Nick, we need to take him to the vet. I'm getting really worried. We're having our first freeze. We need to get him checked out, see what's wrong with him. So we take him to the vet, and they run a fecal test because, like I've said before, he has diarrhea, like, all the time, just drips. And they did a fecal test, and the vet came back, he said, oh my gosh, he's got so many parasites, so many worms. And they measure it from 100 to 500. 100 being not really concerning, 500 being severe. Rebel was a 600, and that's with that power pack, just given to him in May. And so the vet said, yeah, there must just be something wrong with his immunity. He's pretty old. He's around 24 to 25. And he goes, this isn't looking good for us. I don't, you guys are probably going to have to make a hard decision. And he said, but I do have one more thing that I want to try on him. And he said, but I can only do that if you guys allow me to run a blood test on him real quick. And I said, yes, absolutely. Before I made any drastic decision, I want to see on paper what's wrong with Rebel. And I want to make sure that I've done everything in my power and in our money circumstance to fix Rebel if we can, because he is such a good horse. I would hate to have put him down, and I could have done something. So we ran the blood test, and he said, hey, so the good news is that he doesn't have any cancer. They did a white blood cell count panel. Didn't come back as, sorry, I'm just checking on Rebel, he's out here. It didn't come back as cancer, but he said now the white blood cell count is coming back high for those parasites, like I just was telling y'all. So he said, here's our last form of treatment that we can do on him without you guys breaking the bank, because he's too old to be pouring out thousands. And he said, you guys probably don't have thousands. Especially because my horse and my mom's horse, they're still fat as can be. So it's not that the pasture and the herd are sick. It's just Rebel. So he said, hey, you know what? There are so many worms in his stomach that are just festering and procreating and just, they like multiply by the hundreds every day. And so he goes, I'm going to do a wormer on him again, and run a tube right into his stomach. And that should kill the worms directly and just keep him on his normal feed. And I said, yes, no doubt. And it was only $20. I said, yes, no doubt. Please give that to him. I want to make sure that he's fine. And he said, okay, in 2 weeks, bring me a fecal test. bring me a fecal test, and we're going to run it. If it comes back that there's a whole bunch of parasites in there, you know, y'all are going to have to make the really tough decision to put him down. And I said, yeah, I understand that. Because I do not believe in allowing your animal to suffer. As much as it sucks for us to have to put down our animals, they do so much for us on a daily basis. The least we can do is take care of them. You know, they don't have a voice to tell us. But I do believe our horses, especially, they have such awesome souls that you can just look at their eyes, and I feel like I know exactly how Rebel's feeling. In the days leading up to taking him to the vet, he just looked so sad and defeated all the time, and the horses wouldn't hang out with him anymore. It was just going downhill. And so anyways, we're on 4 days since we went to the vet. He's been eating grain. He's getting thicker, but now this is what happened with his last worm, where he did really good for about a month. He was thick, he was doing good, and then it just all started to drop off. But I'm staying hopeful and constant in prayer that God's answering my prayers when it comes to Rebel. However, I do know that it's his plan, not mine. So I'm at peace with, if I have to make that decision to put Rebel down, I know that I've done everything I can, and I also know that Rebel's had a really good life, and the least I can do is make sure that he goes out of this world so peacefully, because he has served us. It's our time to serve him, and I totally honestly believe that. So we're going to take you guys along for that ride, but please just keep our little family in your prayers. It's been really hard. I just roll with the punches because I do see God's bigger plan. I do. Nick, he's a newer Christian follower of Christ, so it's hard. It really is hard. Because it seems like as soon as you establish a relationship with God, these valleys come up, and it's so easy for us as flesh to say, why, God? Why are you doing this to us? And sometimes we don't like the way that God is answering our prayers because we don't feel like it's our way, and it's not. And it's not supposed to be our way. So just please pray for me and Nick and the baby, and our finances and our health and our horse's health, of course. And I believe in the power of prayer so much. I just believe in it so much. And also, there's some sickness going around in Nick's immediate family with his dad, so please pray for him as well. I'm not going to go into detail because it's not our business to share it, but please keep him in your prayers as well, that he makes a miraculous recovery and that he can just be rid of this illness and this sickness. But I just want to jump back on here, and I'm going to tell you guys that we're going to try to bring you along. And I'm sorry for leaving the scene again. Trust me, I let myself down too by doing it, but I just didn't know how to deal with everything all at once. And I'm finally feeling like I'm getting a grasp on it. We're moving forward. We're moving on. We're growing from it. So yeah, I just want to come on here and say that. And I know this isn't a good quality video, but I'm busy doing chores. This is real life. I'm freezing my tail off. I know some people, up in the northern regions and, the mid-United States is laughing at me right now because, ooh, Texas is 27 degrees out, but I'm freezing my butt off. So real quick, I'm going to show you guys a clip of Rebel that I'm going to insert here. Just so you can see how he's still skinny, and this is him with weight on since I took him. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for staying with us through our absence and being understanding. And yeah, just remember to let your faith be the biggest Texas, and remember to please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so that you know when we're going to post again. And again, thank you guys so much. God bless y'all. Bye.